Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my podcast. I missed you guys. I feel like I haven't been here in days since there was no Married to Medicine. There was nothing new because of the holiday. But we are going to do Love and Hip Hop, and it is season 10, episode 1, The New Normal. So we start off with Yandy and Mendices, and they move to Atlanta. And she's talking to her dad, and she's like, are you happy that we're closer? And he says, yeah, I don't mind. And she's like, that's not quite what I asked you or what I thought you would say, but that's fine. So then her cousin comes, they're at the house, her cousin comes over, and Yandy asks if she could babysit because they want to have this rally. And I believe it was Kentucky. And of course the cousin says, yeah, she'll babysit. You guys, did I mention how fine Mendices is to me? Mendices is so freaking handsome. He just really is. And I just thought I'd put that out there. Let you guys know how I'm feeling about him. Next, we are introduced to young baby Tate, and I've never heard of her a day in my life, but apparently people know her because my niece said she knows her, and she knows of her, and she knows her music, and she actually likes her music. And I guess there's going to be another new woman on there as well that's a singer, and she likes her too. So we'll see what the new girls bring. Tiana is vouching for them, and I guess she's good because she says she's a young baby Tate says that she's she's a singer, she's a dancer, she's a mom, she does all of these things or whatever, and she says that she has to because her mom is Dion Ferris. And so of course, as all of us, I'm sure I knew the name, I was like, I know that name, but I had to look her up, I'm not gonna lie. And her mom's voice, oh my god, she's the one that's on the Love and it's my movie. It's not. Love Jones soundtrack, and she sings Hopeless. They say I'm hopeless as a penny with a hole in it, penny with a penny with a hole in it, yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna sing all the time, you guys, because I don't. But that was my jam, and that was my soundtrack. So yeah, she got a lot to live up to because Miss Dion Ferris, her voice was heavenly. But she's doing well because she's doing South by Southwest, and that's not, that's a pretty big deal. Then we see Bambi, and she's just telling Sierra about how she got pregnant. She knew she was pregnant at some point. I can't remember where she said they were, but she knows she got pregnant wherever they were. And we have Erica Mena, and she's saying how different life is now because she has a mansion and a husband and a baby. So they're all sitting down having a cocktail, except Bambi. So it's Erica Mena, Bambi, and Sierra, and everyone's talking about, their lives or whatever. And Erica's saying how she feels abandoned by Safaree half the time. He's, not around. Bambi then says how she and Scrappy has some issues at times or whatever. Marriage is not easy, and he doesn't want to help sometimes, and that's a little rough for her. She's trying to work it out. Everybody's trying to work it out at their marriages. And so hearing this, Sierra's like, listen, ladies, when I said I love you guys, I said I love you guys to the men too. So just like you guys are my friends, they're my friends. And Bambi was like, oh, hell no. Yeah, that doesn't fly with me. Pick a friend, ma'am, pick a friend. So then we see Kirk and Rasheed, and they're in bed, yuck. And their son comes in, and Rashida's on top of him, yuck again. And she asks the son, listen, come back in about 35 minutes or so. And Kirk says, no, just give me 4 minutes. And I'm like, ew. Y'all, them as a couple, they just gross me out. I feel like they shouldn't even be on this show anymore. But them as a couple, they just gross me out because he is the biggest jerk ever, unless he just plays a jerk for the show, which is very probable. But I don't like him a whole lot. So anyway, ends up that the kid comes back in and jumps in bed with them. So next we have Sierra and her sisters at a jewelry store, and Sierra is trying to trade in the engagement ring from BK for some jewelry. And apparently she's getting some watches and bracelets and whatnot for her sisters, and said maybe she should bring her mom. But she was saying how her sisters are really happy, and they said that he wasn't right for her. He was a liar. She said her mom didn't like him. Nobody liked BK. So apparently a week after he proposed, she then called it off because she felt like he was not right for her. She said she just was not happy. And again, her entire family was trying to let her know that he was not for her. So they're happy that they're no longer together. And she is now with somebody named Eric. She loves Eric, and Eric treats her right. And don't know who Eric is, but Eric is around now. We then have Young Jock, and Yandy's on his radio show, and she's talking about we are coming up on 1 year. At that time, they were coming up on 1 year of the Breonna Taylor murder, and there's still been no justice. So she's having a rally, and he's basically telling her how proud he is. She said she met Tamika Mallory, she gave her a voice, and now she feels like she's actually doing something besides being a mom and being, her career. She's doing something good. So Young Jock tells her that he'll be out there, to help her support, and she's happy about that. And then we have Safaree. He's about to leave to go to the gym, and he's seeing all his wedding photos by the garbage. They weren't in the garbage, they were by the garbage, but he just picked them up and was like, look at this shit, man. Just look at this. And he goes to the gym. Scrappy meets him there. They have a conversation about, he's telling Scrap all the issues or whatever, and no one warned him. Someone should have warned him that after the baby comes, it's a lot of work. And he was just complaining. He said that they do a lot of calling each other names, and she does it in front of people, and he's just sick of it. And as we know, Erica Mena and her mouth can be a little lethal, and he, Safaree was dealing with it because Safaree is just a goof troop. And he dealt with it, but not to say that she is all wrong, because of course we don't know what happens in their house. And he sounds like maybe he is being a jerk now because he didn't know it was going to be so hard, so much work. So they look in the mirror, and Safaree's like, yeah, Scrap, repeat after me. I will get my feet rubbed, and he's repeating after him, and I will take bath with gold leaves and everything, gold leaves. And, they're doing it. It's funny, saying how they want to be pampered and everything in the mirror. And then Safaree just goes off on a tangent about oatmeal. And you won't throw out my oatmeal while I'm still cooking it, and then complain that I don't know how to cook oatmeal and it looks like cardboard, and then get mad because I didn't make you some. And if you think I can't make it, then why do you want some in the first place? And I'm like, Safaree is still stupid. You guys, I like Safaree. I'm sorry, I like Safaree. I think he is funny. He's comedy to me. I like him. So then they show young baby Tate on her way to do her virtual South by Southwest, and her song, she's no Deion Ferris, but okay. I mean, again, South by Southwest is a big deal, so congratulations and good for her. She seems like a nice kid, so I'm not going to clown her or anything. Now we have Sierra on her way to see BK, and she's saying that he's putting up all these things on social media, kind of dogging her. Basically, he's saying how she broke up with him, and then a month later she was with someone else, and so she was disloyal and a cheater and all that. He's calling all kind of names. So she's like, he's hurt, so I'm gonna go and try to give him closure so he can, deal with it and move on. So she goes there, and she walks in, and she's like, yeah, I always want to find something for me. And he's like, yeah, find something for you and your man. And she's like, what are you talking about? So of course that just starts the whole downward spiral of the argument, of the breakup. She ends up saying she was bored. He said, I was bored too. And if they were both bored, then what's the point? What are we here for? So while they're talking, she keeps calling him Eric, and I guess she did it more than once because she's like, oops, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Eric. And he's like, you're just so disrespectful. And she's like, listen, just get over it. And she told him to take it like a G. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, who are you? And she ends up leaving. That's that for them. Then we have Safaree and Erica, and they talk. He comes home, they speak at the bar, and you guys, it's funny because I actually watched that show on VH1 where Erica and Safaree. I don't know if it's when they first met, but it's when they were in that house and it was supposed to be scary and all that, and he was just proclaiming his love for her. I love her. I want her. I'm gonna marry this girl. I'm gonna marry this girl. So I thought it was cute when they actually ended up getting married. Because again, I like Safaree, but now you can tell the difference in his behavior because he's a typical man, and once they're turned off and they become ignorant as shit, and that's what he was doing to her. So Erica tells him she feels neglected. He said he feels like she's different, and he says, yeah, and what's up with the pictures on the by the garbage? And she's like, you worried about some pictures and you tweeting shit like I was your worst mistake? So basically, in woman speak, she put the pictures out there because you disrespected her online with that whole I was your worst mistake. So if I was your worst mistake, F you and these pictures, basically. And that's why the pictures were by the garbage can. She wasn't throwing them things away because they were in very nice frames and they were sitting, again, outside the garbage can. So then she brings up how he was on, I guess, couples retreat and said he doesn't want any more kids. And he says, yeah, because they're a lot of work. So then she starts to cry and she's like, I'm just scared that you no longer want to do forever with me. And he's like, here you go, being dramatic. And that's what I mean, you guys, about when a man changes up like that. She could probably just hang it up. It's like all the respect is gone. He's just being an ass, and that's what he was doing, basically. So of course they got nowhere. He told her, do you, Erica, do you? And she's like, oh, you don't care? He's like, nah, I don't care. So she got up and walked away. I don't like it. I mean, it may just be for the show. Again, we have to remember that Love and Hip Hop is purely entertainment. It really is. Like, there's no telling what's real here. But we're going to talk about it as if it's real. But again, Love and Hip Hop is pure entertainment. But if they really are getting a divorce and going through things, I mean, clearly they're still going through things, apparently. But yeah, it's sad because, like I said, I feel like I saw it from inception when he started liking her to now. You get his attitude is completely different, and he is being a total man, basically. And that is actually where the episode ends. So this episode didn't really have a lot going on because, it's always the first episode where we are reintroduced to the different stories and the different people. And of course, as we know, there's like a billion other people to get to that I guess we'll see next week or what have you. But yeah, that was it. So hope you enjoyed the review, and I will be reviewing it every what's today, Monday. And if you have yet to subscribe, please do. It would be doing me a big favor. Subscribe, hit the like button, and comment. Let's talk about some things. Thank you guys for coming back again. Smooches.